All right, so I really kind of want to move from this channel, but I do realize that I am getting views on this channel, but I'm also trying to give a message and to expose a lot of things, as you guys know exactly how we are as black people down here up in the South, and just how we are as a society, because we're so busy on trying to expose other people and other races that we need to be exposed ourselves too. And because of that, I kind of want to fill in a bit more things with what I was talking about with the Kodak Black statements, going into, with the pump faking that we do down here, the fake supporting and things like that. So, we don't have very many at all big names down here in the South as real street cats, real street niggas. Ones that really made an impact or a name. We really don't. You can't count it on one hand because you have to take half the damn fucking hand. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's how many there is. So that's just a low proportion. And, with that really being said, a lot that you see now coming out with a lot of the artists now, yeah, some from down south, but why we choose to talk the way we do, ignorant now with the bad slurs, because honestly, a good majority of them with the artists now are planted there, like really industry plants. And, I touched upon 21 Savage and the Migos, like they were planted. Take a look at how fake they are. Go take a look at the video I did called 21 and the Migos are fake, they the feds. Go take a look at that video. In the last video, in the description, I have a link to the playlist that I do for this channel. You take a look at Little Yachty. Little Yachty, he went to college, he has education, he knows how to speak proper, but he was planted there and gets paid for sounding the way he does, which is uneducated. We really don't sell drugs like that down here. And I said this before, if anything, we exaggerate about it. We pretend, because a good majority of us, what we do, we're too busy shooting up, which is known as dabbing. We're too busy snorting, too busy puffing. This is water, but pretend this is liquor. Too busy zipping. And, that's what our money goes towards, is that. But speaking on fake supporters, and yeah, I know you guys are going to say, well, what about the gang banging down here? If anything, we false flag, false claim. We ain't banging. We ain't gangsters. Yeah. Keep it straight 100. Ain't nobody out here anymore really fucking busting because, well, a good majority of them pretty much locked up or all the way dead. So those that you see coming out saying, I'm this, I'm that, is fake. But, I just wanted to fill in that last part. I think with this one, going back into the topic of which I did before called fake supporters, and which goes into, why we don't support our own and why we support outsiders, is a problem. And this just don't involve with black people. It involves with whites as well. And especially down south. Maybe even in the West Coast, it may even go towards that, even in the East Coast, but I don't really know. I can only speak upon about the South because that's what I know, and I've been down here all my life. First and foremost, excuse me if I look a hot mess. I got done cleaning up, and this has been on my mind. And I just want to talk about the fake supporting, and also what goes into the reason, why, I actually quit doing craftsmanship. I do. Why I quit doing that. So, to go into supporting of music, because I am also in music. very little will you have support in your town where you at. Very, very, very little. I can't describe how little, but it's very little. And trying to promote and advertise itself, they're going to see it, but they ain't going to want to gravitate towards it or pay attention to it. So trying to gain the support is going to be, well, that's cool, but I'd rather go listen to somebody who's famous and support them, get their streaming numbers up, or go buy their CD, or go to their shows and spend money. And that proportion that does that is very big, very huge. And you have a lot more in that circle that down you. Now, a lot of people say it's called haters, hate. But when you have zero support, and along with the other circle inside that, which is the hate, it makes it very difficult to breathe and to be loved. That's why a good majority of artists, when they get the chance, if something else may come along to put them in a good position, they're going to take it. Or if the music does take off, may not take off all the way, but take off to a joint where they can leave, they will. And when that happens, you're going to have those two inner circles like, hey, man, you should come down here and do something. You're going to have people hitting them up. And the mindsets of the people that leave when they get from out of that, it's a mindset of fuck y'all. You don't deserve anything that I do and love. And when I get to that point, if not already, I'm going to be leaving. Because where I'm at, where I'm from, don't deserve my gratification. They don't deserve what I do. They don't deserve my love or for me to give back. Because sadly, us here, we see it, we want to just take it, destroy it. I don't need people dick riding me, showing me fake love, and then want to be fake supporters only when it's accurate, just to fucking reach out to me and sponge to me, because a good majority saying, oh, well, they got leverage or they got a following, and they don't need to use somebody else's platform, and I will get to that. And that, I see a lot of that shit. But when I leave from that, I'm not coming back, so don't fucking ask me for shit. Don't. Those that did support, and when I say those are very, very, very little, and I can count them off just half this hand. I appreciate that. But I get more support from random people outside of this town going into, not just when it comes to physical music, there's that physical aspect that gets supportive outside of the town rather than inside. Online, I get more support, more traffic, and these are people from all over. So the real support is outside of where you're at. And then that fake love, that fake support, and again, I have to agree with a lot of the comments that I've seen about Nipsey Hussle's death. A lot of these people who want to love him and support him now are doing this after he's dead. And that's one thing we do. We always love and support someone after they're gone. And that's that fake support and that fake love. Where was that shit at when somebody was around? When they were here, alive. You see what I'm saying? And like, body. So, you know, that's something I just don't need around me or in my life as an artist. Because it's going to be your own people in your own town that are going to be the ones to do that shit the most. Also go into killing. Like I explained before. That, as such, we're lost. We think something popping and something hot because it's not, because we gonna have liquor and some pills with us. Now, we have a celebration called Meal Day now. It used to be, way back in the day, it was a celebration of slavery. And used to trade slaves for meals and for goods. And, now with that, not being as in existence anymore, it's now the celebration of, you know, people would come out from the outside of the town, outside of the state, to come in to sell what they do to us insiders, and we're gonna buy and spend money on them. So we're gonna get goods from them, right? And all the years, it used to be really good when I was young, but throughout time it got worse and worse. And this year was the worst of them all. Like, there was no sales going on as garage sales, yard sales. There were very little flea market booths at the park during the fairgrounds. The parade, I can really care less. And the prices, were a bit steep, bit even. It kind of really depends on what you were trying to buy. And some, I'm not going to say who, but the guy who's pretty much a snake, I'm just being real. It's like, man, it was the best ever. No, it wasn't. Hanging outside of a fucking shop, barbecue, and you think that was shit? No, man, everyone was fucking doing that. And the reason why, we get so delusional down here in the South is because, that's how we are. We really don't have anything to our names or really have much at all. But what we get, we destroy. And we get delusional, man, and we just dumbfounded. We are. And it's sad because I spoke on it again. There's this young man who's in the NFL from this town. Now, I'm what? Shit. I'm like really years older than him. Like, I'm 29. He's no more, really way in his early 20s. And I mean his baby 20s at that. Not to mention, I'm like, 15 years ahead of him out of high school. He got out not that long ago, be exact, especially out of the college part of that as well. But all these people, we really don't support our own football team here, our own college football team. Oh, yeah, we don't support our own college football team. We support, really, Alabama, which makes no sense. So Tennessee's the biggest supporter of Alabama. We don't support our own high school team. We support Spring Hill for some reason. And we don't give supporters to a lot of these young players who want to get to a good position. But when this young man made it to where he was at, everyone wants to show love and support. But before then, it was like, all right, that's cool. Everyone just wanted to fucking dick ride and show support. He gave a free party at the square. Now, no one in here in town showed up. But before that, when it came to say, hey, I need your help to promote what I got going on, can you put it on your platform and on your IG? Yeah, he was grateful enough to do it. But these people that were doing that, they claimed they got a following and a platform. If that's true, then you wouldn't need somebody to help you do that, who now has a bigger following and platform than you, and who's actually notarized on a lot of social media accounts. But they just wanted the dick ride and sponge off this young man. But it was the outsiders from another state that came to Tennessee and showed love and support. Again, we're not supporters of our own when it comes onto the inside. We're more supporters when it comes to people outside. Which then brings me to, again, our holiday of Meal Day. And, a lot of these people, they come from the major cities where there's a lot of traffic, where they can make money doing woodwork, painting, airbrushing shirts, selling jewelry, making jewelry, food. Because when you're in a town where I'm from and it's dead, it's a ghost town, it's practically abandoned, pretty much, and no one really gives a fuck about each other, we're not going to support whatever good comes from in this town because we don't want it. I don't know why that is. We just don't. And it's sad to see because this town is trying to get the help it needs to build itself back up. It may not be at its prime like it was in the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s, but they're trying to put some life in it. Yeah, I see that, but there ain't really nothing here but fast food places, dollar stores, and churches now. And hospitals for sick people that fucking ridiculous. Like, they took our mall and changed it into another damn big hospital. And it's a cancer hospital, and I know some people are going to be jumpy. Well, it's glad it's a cancer. Well, there's no one in the town where I stay at that has cancer. There's a lot of people from the outside of this town into a state that has it, that has hospitals like that. But them coming here is raising our taxes up too much. And there's a place for them out there like that. It's called the fucking city morgue. That's just that's how I look, and that's really how I feel about that. And I'll get into my situation with a lot of these fucking elderly fucks out here in another video. Because I want to explain how my last week was. But, with that, when a lot of them outsiders come here and they set up, yeah, we're going to want to gravitate towards them and spend money to support them. But when it's one of our own that wants to do something in terms of food, music, art, it's this. And be like, oh, well, that's nice, but I'd rather go support this outsider instead. Not you. Which then brings me to why I actually quit doing art, man, for people. Why I quit doing craftsmanship. Because there was no love. There was no support. What I got was a lot of criticism for some reason. Judgment from it. And then those that wanted to steal. But when it came to me saying, okay, well, I'll sell it to you. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what are your prices? Well, before music, I'd like to draw, right? Okay, if I do a picture for you, I'm asking no more than $5. That's it. If you want a bit of color in that, okay, 15 to around 20. That ain't bad. 5, 15, 20, that's not bad. But to them, that's like, oh, that's too expensive. And sometimes I would be more than grateful enough to lower it down to $1. If not most of the time, down to $1. But still be like, oh, that's too much. So they rather get it for nothing. From that was painting. Now, I don't paint. But when it comes to painting, one thing I noticed, they rather, the same thing with drawings, people rather nowadays gravitate towards, Walmart and Hobby Lobby towards their fake sketches and their fake paintings that they have for sale or that they're selling, rather towards something that is real, accurate, and that has more value and that's one of a kind and something that is not duplicated. And that's sad because you rather go out and spend, I think the highest most of them I've seen is around 150. So you from around 50, from $45, $50 to 150, you rather go spend money like that on a fake portrait and painting that's heavily duplicated and that's printed by a machine onto a piece of canvas or paper. Printed by a machine that is fake, that is already done on computer, rather than actually getting something that's real, authentic, that's not duplicated, and that has some value to it, and spending less of that money just to make someone's day. And that's the problem. We rather own fake pieces of shit. And that's very sad. That's why I quit art. Then I got into clothing. I grew up poor, so I had to learn how to make my own clothes. When I wanted to do something with that, I began a bit late in that, if not already late, because no one liked to do t-shirts no more. No one wanted to have t-shirts that were done. But whatever it is that I did, I tried to advertise. He was like, oh, can you make me one? But can you do it for nothing and give it to me for free? That material don't come cheap. However, if you could throw in, again, I tell you what, make it $15, $20, right? I'll work with that. But it's like, well, no, that's too much. When you rather go outside and support somebody else, it's going to charge you an arm and a leg. And then you're going to be bitching about the fucking price, but you know damn well you're going to wear that shit. And then just like I used to make jewelry, people like, hey, make me one. Yo, let me get that. Well, guess what? All right, tell you what, give me, again, $15, $20. I'll work with that. No, that's too much. But you'd rather go spend money for an outsider that's going to charge you an arm. But with me, you're going to get the best quality items. You're going to get the best of the best quality. Now, I don't really have much to show what it is I used to do because I threw away a lot of my stuff that I did because of how much people don't like real craftsmanship. I even threw away over $1,000 in equipment of art utensils and paints, man. That should say something right there. That should say a lot right there of how much we don't support each other when it comes to insiders versus how much we support people that are outsiders. You know, woodwork. Now, me and my father, we ain't got the best relationship, but he used to do woodwork he used to do some woodwork on the side. And he also used to do that for a living as well, once upon a time. But way before I was born, way before he met my mother. And then a little bit during he met my mother, he did. And because he lived in a bigger city, it was a bit more easier living. But moving down here, there used to be showings for that. Now, not too much for art showings. For some reason, down here in the South, especially in Tennessee, especially living in Columbia, there were no art showings. They just don't do that. But for woodmanship, they would do that. And now they don't do that. And I remember he tried to sell some of his stuff that he did only for $25. And people would look at it and say, oh, well, that's nice, but they wouldn't want to buy it. But they'd rather go spend money on fake woodwork that's done by machines that's sold in stores. And that's very sad. Because of how things have been replaced so much by machinery nowadays and so heavily duplicated and faked, they got rid of classes of, terms of art class, woodwork, jewelry making, and fashion. They got rid of the trades for that. They got rid of the job course for that here in America. And that's why, why I stopped being a craftsman. Because of the things I explained and why the support isn't there. And people say, well, they can make money from it. Okay, good for you because you live in a city. I don't. But also down here, if you're somebody that comes with that shit down here and chooses to stay here, it's going to be, that's nice, but I'd rather go outside of the town and have somebody do that. And that's sad because a lot of them outsiders, they ain't gonna have the best quality. And I noticed that. The insiders in the town where you stay at, who you should support, are gonna have the best fucking quality. Matter of fact, I'll probably show you guys one thing I'm doing. This is a sketch. Right. Sketch. See that? I don't know if the camera can do that justice. And I should upload the video of why I quit doing art. And also the video of the paintings I have done on this channel as well. I'll do that so you guys can see. And I'm going to show you guys some of the jewelry I used to make. I got like a couple of my pieces I kept personally for myself. Hold up. Let me pause this video. So here's one of the jewelry pieces I made right here. The SpongeBob, Thug Bob right there. Right there. Right there. I even have a 50-cent headpiece I did too. And with all that going in, it's sad because we're not supporters of our own down here in the South. We rather support people, that are outsiders. And I didn't have very, very many options growing up. At all. I grew up a bit of a foster child. My mother wasn't cleaned up. She's out getting cleaned up. Father wasn't around. I grew up with poor schooling, as in poor education, which goes into me having learning disabilities in terms of reading, writing, and counting. Over time, that stuff got better. I ended up being labeled as a high school dropout while receiving a fake high school diploma. There is a video on that on this channel. Hold up. Sorry about that, guys. I had an incoming call I had to take. But anyways, if you guys want to see about that fake diploma thing, just check out the video on my channel called Fake Diploma. I'll try to remember to link it, but it is on this channel. Because of those things and not being able to really get a job, and also me being on SSI, which blocks me from getting a driver's license, which I will never be allowed to get until I move out of the state, is why, I just didn't have very many options, and why, I really, was self-taught myself to learn how to draw paint, do clothes, and then later on got into jewelry and music. And also with music, people like, do me some cover art. $5, because it takes no more than 5 minutes to do that. Anybody else is going to charge you an arm and a leg because they want to take up your time and get as much money out of you as possible. So there's that. And because of all those things, again, a good majority of us here down in the South and the towns we live in, we ain't going to want to support each other. We'd rather support the outsiders. And that's very sad because a lot of good talent out here has died off. Not dead as in RIP, but died off as in they don't do it no more. You don't see it. A lot of them has been drove away. Some get to the point where they feel like they had nothing else going for them. And because of that, I even feel this way at times where I feel like I think a better place for me is just being in jail. Maybe dead. And it's very sad for me to say that, but that's just a harsh reality. It's very, we're a very sad group of people down here in the South, man. We really are. And I don't know how much more I could really touch upon this subject, but we just have a lot. We're fake supporters down here. We only want to be supporters when it's accurate so we can dick ride and sponge off. That's all. But, it's best for me, next year early to leave. That's why I'm saving as much money as I can possible, so I can go somewhere on the East or West Coast, man, to do what I can and set up a booth and make money. Because they actually support and still like things that are handcrafted, especially over in Nigeria. They don't accept anything that's done by machine. So, that being said, if you're an outsider coming down here and thinking about moving down south to do what you're gonna do to make a living, don't, because we ain't gonna want it. But if you're an outsider that's coming in for like the weekend, setting up some booths at an event, just know us insiders, we're going to gravitate towards you and we're going to give you money. But if you're somebody in position that's stuck doing what you do and your talent's not being seen and it's going to waste and you're trying to gain supporters in your town, and if you wonder why you can't, well, now you know why. And it's best for you just to say, you know what, fuck y'all, I'm finna do it somewhere else. And when shit takes off, don't fucking come to me. You turn them people down. And if they get upset, so be it. So fucking be it. So that's about it, man. I'm out. I hope you guys understand where I come from on this channel. And I hope you guys, because I really don't want to do any more videos on this channel. I really want to leave right now. Because I want to focus on my entertainment channel, which is called Jazzy Entertainment. And the link to that channel is in my about info on this channel. So I really want to focus more on that. And I hope you guys truly understand now, exactly where I come from. Why I speak the way I do on this channel. Because of the shit I experienced coming up. So, yeah. I guess one could say I had bad interracial experiences, man. I guess one could say I had these experiences that drove me to this mindset and for me to speak the way I do. Did have those experiences on me. I'm correcting myself. Did have those experiences on me, especially as me being part white and part black, me being mixed. Cherokee Indian, South African, Jamaican, Egyptian, and Italian. So, I got a good majority experience on both sides of those fences, white and black. And I'm pretty sure you guys can tell, what my experiences were and what made me into who I am today. Which I feel good now doing these topics on this channel because it makes me feel good. It's therapy for me, and I finally get to get it off my chest and also just talk to you guys, the outsiders who see these videos, so you guys get an understanding. Because again, us as black people, we are very, very hypocritical people, very hypocritical community. And again, we're so caught up in trying to expose other people and other races that we need to expose ourselves. We do. So, yeah. Especially down here in the South. It ain't a place I really recommend anybody live at. I'm out.